WRSR, Owasso, Flint. The following program has been pre-recorded and is paid for by Discover Flint Township. The views expressed are those of Discover Flint Township and do not necessarily reflect the views of 103.9 The Fox or Krill Communications, Inc. Welcome to Discover Flint Township, a program showcasing our local community. Flint Township is ready for your next move. And now, your host, Flint Township Economic Enhancement Director, Tracey Tucker.
I'm Tracey Tucker, and this is Discover Flint Township, brought to you by Flint Township Economic Development Authorities and our community partners, Shea Automotive Group and 103.9 The Fox. Today, I have a special guest. His name is Dan Crannie from Signs By Crannie, and I have known you, quite a few years, because I'm old, but I remember when years and years ago, I was with the Builders Association. I think that was the first time I might have met you.
Yes. Yep.
Yes, you've been around for a long time. How long has your business been in business?
April 12th of 1985.
1985.
Officially became a business. That's when I got my DBA in Flint.
Yeah.
And so next year will be our 40th year.
Wow. And you were on Flushing Road then, or?
Yeah, I started in my mom and dad's house.
Isn't that amazing?
Just out of high school, not
Sure.
long. And my first building I rented from my uncle at Crannie Construction on Flushing Road. And then I bought my own building, and we've outgrown 3 other locations. Now we're in our largest location. Yeah.
That's amazing. And the building you're in now, you've been there, about 5 years?
9 years.
9? Oh, my gosh. Time flies. I remember when you went in there.
For sure.
And then you expanded a little. You've remodeled it. They have a beautiful building. If you're interested in seeing some interesting signs that you've done over the years and stuff you've removed from other places, you're on Marketplace, and you can see it. They've got a big sign that says Signs By Crannie. So what made you get into the sign business?
I started out, I was artistic, interested in art and graphics and stuff when I was in junior high school. My art teacher actually helped encourage, there was a program offered at DeWaters Art Institute.
Really?
Which is now the Flint Art Institute.
Okay.
And they took 2 kids from every school, elementary school in Genesee County, and allowed them an opportunity to take this class. And I was picked from from Coolidge Elementary.
Coolidge, yeah.
Yeah, and so from then on, it piqued my interest even more in art, attending there.
Sure.
And so I started airbrushing and doing. This is back in the day of customized vans and start of monster trucks and stuff. So I was hand painting and lettering and airbrushing on custom vans and things like that when I was in high school, and that ended up getting me a position to get into the Genesee Area Skills Center, which also kind of honed my art skills and stuff, because they had a great arts and graphics program at Skills Center.
Right.
And then Hamady Brothers had called them looking for a sign painter. And our teacher said the closest thing I got to a sign painter is Dan, who does graphics and stuff on vehicles. So Hamady's hired me as their sign painter. And I painted window posters for Hamady's for 5 years, and that's when I went out on my own. They were having some union struggles, and but I was painting. At that time, they had 54 stores, so I was painting
they were
all
big.
the signs because this is BC, before computers,
right?
So,
BC.
So everything was hand done. So I was painting hundreds of posters every week for Hamady Brothers.
Wow.
And then that's when I went out on my own.
Yeah, but people don't think about that, but I do remember that when I was a kid, that they were all hand done, all the posters that were in the stores. That's amazing. What a way to start. And you kind of help out with Genesee Area Skill Center. I know you are very active in the community. And you're on their advisory council. I knew you were involved, but I didn't know what you were, what position you had. One of the great things about Genesee County and Flint Township is that a lot of our businesses are active in some of these programs. Genesee Area Skill Center is a great program that helps get kids prepared for real jobs in the real world, right?
They do, absolutely.
So it's great to hear that you're involved over there. How's that going over there with them? Are they keeping up enrollment? And are they seeing an increase at all?
It's at capacity. They're full enrollment.
Good.
What the GISD has done with the now it's called GCI, the Genesee Career Institute. Right. What the GISD has done with it is just phenomenal. It's a state-of-the-art facility. The programs they offer, they have their own fire program now. They've got a fire truck and their own fire department.
That's amazing.
There are so many things going on at GCI. People really should check it out.
That's great. Maybe we should talk to them. I'll get the inside scoop from you who to talk to. Maybe get them in to do a show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because what people understand, they pushed kids to go to college. Not every kid, first of all, is cut out for college. They might be a hands-on person, a mechanical type person. There are jobs out there in the trades, in design, in fire, police, that you don't necessarily need a degree for, right?
Absolutely. I think we've did disservice to a lot of our youth over the last decade or two, thinking that you have to go to college to be successful.
Right.
And some of the most successful people I know didn't go to college or minimal college or
some college.
Some college. And I'm not trying to not.
Yeah, we're not bashing college.
No, not at all.
But it is not for everybody.
Everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
But
and I'll tell you, you can make good money in the trades.
Yeah, that's the message that was being sent. You're not going to be successful unless you go to college. Right. And then so what do? Jack the prices of everything so that a simple education now is outrageous. And and I know backhoe operators and excavators and people working in the dirt.
Right.
Making six figures. You know?
Sure.
But they use that as the example of what you go to college or you're going to be a ditch digger. Well, we still need ditch diggers.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
And those jobs pay really well.
Yes, really well. Yeah. Usually, yeah. I know I always laugh when I see that micro dirty jobs, he does all that stuff. Yeah. And to see some of those jobs aren't going away. And
absolutely.
Those jobs pay good money.
Well, if they do go away, we're in trouble.
Right, because who's going to do it?
When you need a plumber, you really need a plumber,
Exactly. No, you're right. And I know my husband is a plumber, so I know that industry a little bit. And they've had a heck of a time getting new people to come in to apprentice. Yeah. It's crazy. But we're not just here to talk about that. I want to talk a little bit more about the direction your company has went in. You started out local. I know that you've been involved with the national sign organizations.
Yes.
And why don't you talk a little bit about the national organization, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what you've done in your life. Okay.
Well, initially, we're kind of a boutique industry, the sign industry. There's only a few 100,000 people in North America in the sign industry. Wow. So it's kind of a small industry. And everybody kind of operated on a local level. Everybody I knew. And so
which makes sense because they're big. I mean, it's not like you're...
Yeah. But as growing up in Flint, I knew, when the automotive industry is tanking. So does everybody else in Genesee County.
Right.
So I knew I had to reach beyond Genesee County if I wanted to keep my guys working year round, or through a strike or things like that.
Exactly.
And so I joined the Midwest Sign Association and got to know a lot of people within several states of us, and found out, with a little collaboration, we could help each other. Something that I was strong in, but somebody else was weak in, I could help them, and vice versa.
Sure.
And so I started networking like that, and now we deal with sign companies all over North America. I ended up being the president of the association, and then through our growth and our reputation, we were invited to be a part of the World Sign Associates, which is the top sign companies in North America.
All right. And you don't just get to be a member of that, right?
No.
You have to be invited.
Yeah, you have to be invited, and you have to pass quite a rigorous enrollment that included getting letters from local building inspectors that said that your work was,
it's top notch.
Top notch, yeah.
How many people are a member of that?
In Michigan, there are 4 members.
Wow.
And a couple of them I helped bring into the organization because I knew the ability of their work. And so
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So
because I know at one time you were like only one or two. You were only one, or there was one or two.
There were only 2 of us in Michigan when I was asked to be involved. And
that's amazing. So. Now you also have another branch, right, in Florida?
We do.
Yeah. And you're doing signs all over the nation, right?
We do. We've got signs in Venezuela, Portugal, Brazil, Germany, Russia.
That's amazing. That's amazing. How in the world did you end up even bidding a sign that would be in Portugal?
Well,
you know what I mean? Yeah. It just seems so odd.
Absolutely. It's a unique situation where we had a customer in Michigan that had factories around the world. And none of them matched. They all had mixed match. Even the way their logo was produced in other countries didn't match what it looked like in the States. And it wasn't their image. So they wanted to unify their image worldwide, and they wanted to pick one company that was capable of doing it. Nice. And we came up with a solution because they wanted their signs lighted all over the world, but there's different electricity requirements, there's different polarities, there's different voltages. So all over the world, it's different. And so we came up with a solution that worked for them, and they hired us to make their signs for the world.
That's amazing.
So,
that's amazing.
40 different countries.
Wow. What a big win for a local business. And that's something, I didn't know it until you were talking about where you had done them. And, it's always amazing to me to learn the stories of our business owners here in the community, of how they got there and what their successes are, because your success is our success. It's your employees' success, and it helps keep our community strong. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about with the signs that you're doing?
Well, one of the notable signs we just did was the new Top Thrill Dragster ride at Cedar Point.
Yes! That's amazing.
Yeah, that's been pretty exciting because it's been in the media. They've been advertising a lot. It's been on some news programs and stuff, and we did all the signage, entering the ride. And
that's awesome. Did you get to ride drive?
I haven't even been, so no. But
that's funny.
Yeah, but that's also an example of partnering with another sign company. A sign company in Sandusky had the opportunity to do this work for Cedar Point. They do a lot of their other small stuff, but they didn't have the capability of building these big signs. And we've been partnering with them over the last several years, because they redo one of the rides every winter.
Right.
So
that's one of the great things about Cedar Point.
Yeah.
Bummer it's in Ohio, but love Cedar Point.
But so they came to us with the opportunity on previous years, and this was just another another example.
That's awesome. That is so cool, because we'll see that a lot, because they advertise up here for those rides.
Oh, yeah.
All through the summer. So we'll be seeing your sign every day. And then also, I know what else I want to talk to you about. You're a member of the Optimist Club.
Yep.
And I know that you've been instrumental in helping them out with doing the beds that they're doing. You want to talk about that program a little bit?
Yeah, the Sleep in Heavenly Peace program has been growing in this area. There was a need, and our Optimist Club got involved installing some of these beds that were being made. And they do a bed build every year, or a couple times a year actually. But in February they're trying to find a place, and I volunteered, our company, and we were able to, the first year we set up and produce the amount of beds they wanted to do in record time. So this year, when we did our bed build, we also sponsored to buy lumber and stuff like that, as well as the Rotary Club and the Optimist Club. And
so again, collaboration.
Yeah.
Right?
So we built a record amount of beds. The second build, we built 50 beds, and so that's
amazing.
Pretty cool.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And to know there's 50 less children sleeping on the floor or a cot or something just in our community. It's heartbreaking to think that there's that many kids in need. And this, as of today, they're installing 17 more, and that will make us 400 beds in 2 years.
Wow.
So that's really nice.
That's amazing, and it's amazing, and it's heartbreaking, like you said, to think that there were 400 kids that needed it.
Yes.
But it's amazing that you guys are stepping up and helping with that. Another thing I wanted to talk about, anybody that's listening may or may not know that I'm the director of the DDA, which is the Downtown Development Authority for Flint Township. We have been we partner with different businesses in the township from time to time to do projects. And one of the projects that we're doing this year is new signage on Miller Road, and then also a new sign on Corona Road. And so who better to partner with than Mr. Dan here? And so Dan came to us, Dan and I talked, and we came up with a way for us to do this without it costing the community anything. Of course, he's putting a lot out there on the line on this, but he's putting up a new sign for us on Miller Road. And so you want to talk about that a little bit, about what's coming on that and what people can look forward to, or what opportunities are out there for our businesses that may want to advertise?
Sure. What we designed and came up with is a kind of a mini billboard.
Right.
It's a 10 by 20 digital billboard that will be right at the exit at Miller and I-75. And it's a Welcome to Flint Township sign, but it's going to feature Flint Township businesses. Yeah. We've committed to sell the advertising space to local businesses and then welcome people into the community.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's an awesome project, and we want to thank, we're working with a veterinary clinic that's there. They did agree to lease us some property. We're working on some minor difficulties that we've had, but we're working our way through them. And you'll notice, though, if you go by on Miller Road there at I-75, all those hedges are down. It's starting to look good. We're gonna do some landscaping there, and it should be a nice project once it's done. We can't wait. So what else was I going to talk? I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'll bring it up for our listeners. We also have a Beecher Road Corridor Improvement Authority and a Bristol Road Corridor Improvement Authority, and they have started pilot programs for grants for some of our businesses. So if you know somebody that has a business on Beecher Road between the Hospitality House and Graham Road. They are offering a grant for people in that area of $2,000 for any improvements that they want to do on the exterior of the buildings or signage or parking lots, sidewalks, that kind of stuff. If you're interested, go to our website, flinttownship.org, and look for grants, and it's listed there. Bristol Road Corridor Improvement Authority runs from the east side of I-75 to Fenton Road, and then north and south on Fenton Road about a quarter of a mile each way, and on Van Slyke Road about a half mile or a quarter mile to the south, and then up to Hammerberg on the north. If you're in that area, they have they're doing grants of $5,000 for the same types of projects. So I've been out talking to businesses in their area, but if you know somebody that's in that area, have them go to our website and they can look it up, or they can give me a call. So that's some of the stuff we have going on.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm thinking we also have a bunch of new businesses coming. Ross for Less is coming in the Target Plaza there on Miller Road. We've got at Bristol and Linden, we've got the gas station there, and they're going to have a coffee shop at one end, and at the other end, they're going to have a new restaurant called Mooya. They do smash burgers, so that should be interesting. We've got a 100,000 square foot e-commerce center for Home Depot coming in on Linden Creek Parkway. And we've got a bunch of other stuff going on. But one of the things I wanted to bring up is that the DDA has been focused on, beautification, cleanup, making our community more attractive to investors. We do take care of all the ramps and trash pickup and all that stuff, but they have started another pilot project of maintaining all the islands, the dividers that are in the roads in our areas, and also doing trash pickup on Corona, Linden, Miller Road. So we're going to see how that goes. Trail, cleaning up stuff on the trail. So we're going to see how that works out. We're going to try to make that a monthly project that we're working on. Another thing that the township has going is we've been doing a program called Pick It Up, You Can Make a Difference, and basically anti-littering campaign. But we work with businesses and volunteers. We'll pick a spot every month. It's usually the first Saturday, but obviously in July it'll probably be the second Saturday. We won't be doing pickups on 4th of July weekend. No, thank you. But anyway, what we do is go out, they pick a spot, they go out, they do a cleanup. We provide all the trash bags, the vests that people need, the pickup sticks and all that stuff. So if you know of a business or you have a business in our community and you have an area that you'd like to adopt to do those cleanups, get with me and we will get you the bags and the pickup sticks. If you want to, we'll help pay for that part. All you would have to provide are the volunteers. So that's where we're at on that project. I'm trying to think what else we got coming up. Oh, we've got National Night Out. Oh, yeah. So have you ever been part of that?
I haven't. It's not.
It's different. Yeah, it's not really. Well, and it's not your sign company. What are you going to do there, right? Yeah. So, but you're always welcome to come. Sure. But that's always a huge event we have. And that is normally the first Tuesday night in August. But due to the elections, that will be the first Wednesday. So it's going to be on the day after the election. So, and speaking of elections, everybody, if you're not registered, get registered. Just a reminder to everybody, this is an early voting election. All of your communities should have early voting 9 days before the election. Check with your local clerk. In Flint Township, ours is held right at the township offices. So I think our hours are 8:30 to 4 or 4:30. I'll have to look that up. I'll know by the next radio show. But we have that, and then there's so much going on. AV ballots. Everybody's got drop boxes. That was mandated by the state. So get out and get your AV and throw it in the drop box. You don't even have to come in. You know, so that's kind of nice. There's just, and if, I know what I was told to tell everybody that every community needs election workers. If you want to be an elections inspector, or if you're one of the people that complain about the system, then become part of making it better. Be an election inspector. Contact your local clerk because they do need people, and you do have to be certified. So if you want to do it, you need to contact people before the end of June so that you can get certified to work the election in August. So those were all my have to talk about things.
Do you have to live in the community that you want to volunteer, or can you volunteer in any community?
You do not. The major requirements are you have to be a registered voter and in the state of Michigan, and you have to be over 18 to do anything with the ballots. Right. So now, if you're younger than 18, if you're 16, 17, about to turn 18, and you want to work, you can work the elections. You just won't be able to work at the table. But we have door people. You have people that help at the offices. I'm sure if you're 16, 17, and you want to work, go see your local clerk. I am sure they'll find a job for you. That's the hardest thing, is finding people to work that stuff. And then they added that 9-day early voting on us. And we're like, yeah, now you're wanting us to have people work 9 days and then work I've had sometimes on election day where it's a 24-hour day.
Wow.
And you can't leave until it's done, right? But usually our election workers are done. It's usually, you're open 13 hours. So it's automatically a 13-hour day. And then usually your chair people, it's usually maybe 2 hours after that and they're done. Sometimes 3, just depending on how busy it is. Mm-hmm. But, in some of the smaller communities, it's not that bad. So, check with your local clerk, and hopefully they can fit you in someplace. Right. So I think that's all I had on that. Anything else you can think of that you want to talk about? I know you're involved in a lot of organizations and stuff. Has anybody got anything out there that needs to be mentioned right now? Anything coming up?
I would recommend to everybody, if you want to be involved in the community, join a service club.
Right.
I'm in the Rotary. I'm in the Optimist Club. I know more about what's happening in our community through those organizations than I ever would without. And,
sure.
And, sometimes volunteering as a group makes a bigger impact than an individual. And there's just all the service clubs, Lions, Kiwanis, I can't even think of all of them.
Yeah, Rotary, Optimist Club. I mean, there's so many.
There are, yeah.
There's so many.
And they all serve the community in some way.
Well, and there's other things that you can help out at too that are volunteering. Volunteers are so hard to find right now. So if you are interested in volunteering, contact somebody in your local community or contact somebody that's involved in stuff, and they'll let you know what's out there, because every place has it. I mean, even Back to the Bricks has volunteer organization.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
So you should look at that.
But if you think the community is not what it should be,
right,
and you're not doing anything about it,
exactly,
you don't really have room to complain. You get involved.
Right, and a lot of your township boards or city boards, they're always looking for volunteers. Yeah. Just like us with the Pick It Up, You Can Make a Difference. We're looking for volunteers for that.
Yeah,
and even if you can't actually clean up stuff, you could be there handing out waters to people. I mean, there's stuff like that.
There's something for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have limitations, they'll find something that works for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. No, exactly. Well, man, our half hour is up, man. I get talking. You know how it goes. So I want to remind our listeners, and I want to welcome everybody back because we skipped out on you for a couple years, but we're back. We're going to be here monthly. I want to remind you to email questions that you might have to discoverflinttownship@gmail.com. Visit us on Facebook at Flint Township Events. That's at FLINTTWPEVENTS. Our YouTube channel is Discover Flint Township, and I want to thank Dan Crannie for being here from Signs By Crannie, for being our first guest when we come back. And that was really nice to have you here for such a varied discussion. And I want to thank our community partners, Shea Automotive Group and 103.9 The Fox. You can listen to us monthly here on the Fox, and we have some other partners that are doing the other weeks, and I'll get that list and we can talk about them next week. I'm Tracey Tucker, the Flint Township Economic Enhancement Director, and I'd like to remind everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, shop local, buy local, and discover Flint Township. Have a great day.
This has been Discover Flint Township with Tracey Tucker. For more information, visit discoverflinttownship.com. Flint Township is ready for your next move. The preceding program was pre-recorded and was paid for by Discover Flint Township. The views expressed are those of Discover Flint Township and do not necessarily reflect the views of 103.9 The Fox or Krill Communications, Inc.